Welcome to the Code with Jason meetup. We were supposed to have a mentee today, but the mentee is a no-show, so I'm going to do some live coding on SaturnCI as I often do. So I'm going to share my screen. Um, I don't remember what I was working on last time, but I always try to leave a hint for myself at the end of each session. So I'm going to do a git diff and see what I was working on. I remember. Okay. So I wasn't planning to work on Saturn CI today. So I don't have everything all set up. So let me get my server going and all that stuff. Um, by the way, would you guys happen to be familiar with Saturn CI or no?
No.
Okay, so Saturn CI is this continuous integration platform that I'm building. And if
Oh,
you're not familiar with the concept of a continuous integration platform, it's a place to run your tests in the cloud so you don't have to do it on your local machine.
hmm. So is it behind Docker? Like
Yeah.
it's wrapped into Docker. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and this is what the UI looks like.
Hmm.
So here's all my test runs. But right now the test runs are kind of slow. They often take around 5 minutes, even though locally my test suite only takes like 20 seconds to run. There's a lot of overhead. So I'm trying to do some performance optimization.
Okay.
And as part of that, I'm working on adding this new page where it gives me some performance stats so I know where to put my efforts and so
Hmm.
that after I make an improvement, I can know how much of an impact the improvement had.
Okay.
Yeah. Um, so I have this list of events, but I don't have the durations yet. That's the loose end that I left last time as a hint to myself. So I think I'm gonna add that, but first I'm gonna add I'm gonna put a timestamp because that'll be easier. And even before that, actually, see how this goes job two and then job one?
Here.
That's a bug that has like annoyed me for a long time. So I'm gonna fix that because that just feels dumb. So I'm gonna stash this. Okay, and I'm gonna order the jobs by their index.
Okay.
So let's see where these jobs are coming from. Let's say we're in the build action. Okay. Builds show. Okay, this might be it. Oops. Um, order index. See if that does it. Apparently so, but
Hmm.
only in the buttons.
Yeah.
Here it's still two and one. I think I might know why that is. Okay. Yeah. So I don't want to have to duplicatively include the order everywhere. So I had something a long time ago. I had a default scope on jobs, but I had a default scope that controlled the order, but that caused me some problems. So I'm not sure how I want to handle this. Let's just try this for a second. Okay, so I brought back the default scope. See if this makes any tests fail. Yep. All right. Job models running spec. Line 34. Okay. And this is a test of what? Running job. Oh, sorry, just running. So maybe I can do this. Unscoped.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Apparently that does it. I think I'm fine with that compromise. Okay. Now I'm going to do get stash pop to bring back these changes I was working on before.
Hmm.
I don't want duration for starters. I just want timestamp. Okay. I'll commit that. Now let's add a duration column. Okay, it's perhaps slightly tricky. We have to take a timestamp and subtract from it the previous timestamp.
Hmm.
So how do we get the previous timestamp when we're on a certain timestamp?
We have to save it in memory, keep it in memory somewhere.
Yeah, I think so. So let's see, job event.
Or we could do each with index, and then with the index, we can always take the previous job.
Hmm, that might be a good idea. Okay. Each with index, index. Okay, and here I will say job event dot created at minus job. Hmm. But the job events aren't indexed, are they?
Um, they're not indexed, but if you take like job events and then use them as array, then it should be fine. So you can do job events and then put the index in brackets. That should work.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
guess you're right, huh?
Hmm.
Okay. Okay, now
Uh,
the first one of these won't work. Oh, sorry, was somebody going to say
yes.
something?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was about to say the same thing that the first one would not work because then you have a negative index and
Yeah.
that would pick up the last job event and might not really work 100%.
Yeah, I'm just going to refresh this and demonstrate that
Yeah.
the first one doesn't work. I'm actually surprised by what it does give.
Hmm.
Um, okay, but I'm going to
It's
say,
correct. because what you're doing is ideally in the first one you have the index as 0. When you do a -1, then it takes the last element from the array,
Right.
and that's how it ends up being -300 instead of being a positive number.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
If index greater than 0, right? There we go. Okay. Now these are obviously not aligned correctly, so let's address that. I'm gonna add a class called number. Oh wait, is that what I want to do? I think so. Okay, that looks fine, I guess. Okay. And then I don't need nearly that much precision. Like 2 decimal points is plenty. So I don't remember how to do that.
Yes, I would say round,
Oh, okay.
the second option. Yeah.
Just curious, how come you would choose round instead of number with precision?
Um, because round I think is coming from Ruby, and number with precision is something which is coming from Rails framework.
Okay.
Okay, but why is that better?
Uh, I'm not sure why it's better, but I tend to always go for default Ruby methods if they are available
Mm-hmm.
for the same thing. And like if Rails has a wrapper around it, so I would pretty much always go for that one.
Okay. To me, it seems kind of like 6 one, half dozen the other, but I'll go with round.
Yeah.
Yeah. And are we talking milliseconds here? I'm a little confused. This is, oh no, that's seconds, right? Well, hang on a second. This is, no, no, no.
Should be milliseconds.
Sorry?
Looks like milliseconds to me.
Yeah, I think it is.
No, I think it should be seconds, because if it is starting at 56 and
Oh
the
yeah.
previous one was at 32, then it's 28 plus 56, which is 82, and maybe with the some milliseconds it becomes 83. Because now if you see the next one, then it's 56, 57, and it is 89 milliseconds.
Hmm.
Okay. Yeah, so these are milliseconds?
Yes, the dot ones I would say should be milliseconds, and the zero is second.
Yeah, yeah, my clue here is obviously if these are both 15, 36, 57, it can't be 1 second or more. It has to be less than a second. So these
No.
can't be seconds. All right, I'm gonna label these with actually, you know what? I'm gonna do this. Put duration milliseconds. There we go.
No, it's in seconds.
Oh,
So
it is?
so the
Oh
value
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Sorry, sorry.
So the
Yeah.
value after decimal is in milliseconds.
Yeah, it's 0.21 of a second. Yeah. Yeah, and this is 0.89 of a second. Yeah, got it. Okay.
And one more thing is that if the timestamp is coming from the database and we have date time type, then it should also have milliseconds in the timestamp, which we can show also if we want to.
Okay. You know, does it make sense to show all these in the same unit? Or do I want to show like, this thing that's 130 seconds? I feel like that
Mhm.
makes sense maybe to show in minutes
Hmm.
and like minutes and seconds. And then this one, I feel like it makes more sense to show in milliseconds. Maybe there's an easy way to do that.
Some library should definitely exist for that one.
Sorry.
Some library would definitely be there. I think it's called Time Ago or something like that.
Okay. In an easy human readable format. For example, how many seconds would show as 2 minutes and 0.2 seconds would show as 200 milliseconds. Hmm. Distance of time in words. All right, now ChatGPT is getting stuck.
Hmm.
I'm just gonna give that a try. Say distance of time in words. I don't know what arguments it takes, but we'll see. Hmm. Okay, that's less precision than I'm looking for. But you know what? Maybe this doesn't matter very much right now. This is only for my own purposes,
Hmm.
and I can see that 83 seconds is a lot. I can see that 130 seconds is a lot. 56 seconds is a lot. This is not a lot. Um, so I know where I need to focus, and if I make an improvement, I'll be able to see. So I think this is good enough for my purposes. But also, I don't like this white on black color scheme.
Okay.
Let's see if we can change that. So what does this terminal output helper do?
Hmm.
Okay, so we have a pre-class terminal. Okay, so we have this terminal and terminal container. Yeah, we're also making a div with a terminal container class. All right, let's separate these things. Okay, pre-terminal. Okay, div terminal container. Okay, turn this into a div and turn this into a pre. Oh, yeah, that could be nice. I am trying to keep my gem usage to an absolute minimum, though. Okay, I did something wrong here. I think maybe I lost an end. Okay. Okay. I also don't know why things got wider. Um, but I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna take that off and see what happens. Okay, so that takes off the pre. And terminal container is maybe the wrong name for this class. It should maybe be
Job container.
yeah, or like job info container or something like that. That's obviously going to screw things up. Yep. So we need to terminal container job info container. Okay, that fixed it. So now I'll change this to job info container. Okay. All right, and then just as an experiment, oh yeah. Okay. I'm going to make a class for this. Not sure what I want to call it. I don't like this name, but I'm going to say non-terminal job info. Make the background color white and the text color black. Okay. Does it look weird to have some of these black and one white? It's kind of weird, but it's not that big of a deal. Okay. It's at least better than looking at the white text on black, I think. Okay. And these all still look right? Looks like it. Okay. Oh, maybe I'm not done with this though. There are some things that are shared between these two. Okay. Um, make background for events white. Okay. Now this image build step takes like 2 minutes and 10 seconds. That's obviously quite a long time. So let's see what we can do to make some improvements there. Oh, and let's get a feel for some of these. So this one's 130 seconds. This one's 149. Bit of a difference there. 173, 129, 212, 125. So it looks like it can vary quite a bit. 116, 107. Okay. It's good to see how much it varies because I would hate to see it go down to 107, for example, and think that I made a difference when really I was just seeing random variance.
Hmm.
95. 96. Okay. Okay. So I'm going to look at the system logs. I'm going to see if I can find where it does the build. Docker compose build. Okay. Okay, here it says running Docker compose build. What am I looking for? Um, I want to see where it installs the images. You know what? Okay, let me look at my script. Okay, I wonder if I can try this locally. I can. Okay, so maybe instead of having to do all this work on caching involving my DigitalOcean droplets, maybe I can do some of this caching work locally for a shorter development cycle. So for one, I think I can I think I can I was gonna say I can cache this Ruby 312 image, but maybe I already am actually. Then the bundle install actually takes a bit of time. I didn't mean to say actually. I meant to say obviously takes a bit of time. But I'm thinking maybe caching these other images is lower hanging fruit. And this whole thing sure does take quite a bit of time.
I think the caching should improve because now after you finish this, once this is done, and if you rerun this command now, it should not pull the image again.
Right. But on the DigitalOcean droplets, each build is independent.
Oh,
Yes.
Yeah, and so the reason this goes faster, of course, is because the caching happens on my local machine, but
Hmm.
that same concept doesn't apply when it's being run on a fresh droplet.
True.
I wonder if I can just tell Docker to do its caching somewhere else. Seems like that would be like the simplest. Um, when I run Docker compose build twice in a row, obviously some certain things get cached so that the second run is faster. Where does the caching happen? And can I make it happen somewhere else? Yeah, you can configure external cache locations. Yeah, I think this is what I want. Okay, help me configure external caching. I'm using DigitalOcean. Okay, I do already have a registry, but I wonder if I want an additional registry. And I don't exactly have a clear understanding of the difference between a registry and a repository. So, like, does my DigitalOcean account just come with one single registry and I have a number of repositories inside of that? Or can I have multiple registries and each one of those has multiple repos in it? I'm not sure. But it kind of seems like I just get one registry. In DigitalOcean, how many registries does one get per account? Well, oh, there we go. One registry. Okay. Yeah, multiple repositories. Okay. So I think I do want multiple, I want a separate repository. This is the repository for my um for the SaturnCI app itself for deployment. So I want another one for caching data. Okay. So how do I create an additional repository? Maybe it just automatically gets created push when I push something. Okay. Hmm.
So you want to put certain Docker images into your own Docker repository.
Right. Well, maybe the tags will be good enough to differentiate it. Okay, I'm gonna find my registry URL. Okay, yeah, here's the registry URL. Okay. Okay, and I have, okay, hang on a second. Docs.ctl registry login. Seems like that's actually what I want instead of what ChatGPT gave me. Although maybe not. Okay, I'm gonna read it out a little bit. Enable build kit for Docker builds. Okay. Well, I know I'm gonna have to set this in a more permanent way somewhere. Um, but for the moment, I'll just do that. Configure your build to use the cache. Okay. Don't need to pull the cache because there isn't one right now. Okay. Okay, let's look at what this is doing. Interesting. Okay. Okay, registry image. Okay. So I do want to get that registry URL now. Trying to get it to do syntax highlighting. There we go. Okay. So I'm going to replace this with registry URL. Whoops. There we go. Instead of latest, well, maybe here I can do something like this. Okay, and then here, same thing.
Jason, are we forced to do this because it's DigitalOcean?
Forced to do what?
I mean, the caching thing.
Oh, no. The caching, the reason we have to do that is because each time we run a build, it's on an independent virtual machine. Normally, the caching, like on my local machine, the caching
Yeah.
happens on my local machine,
Okay.
and that'll presumably still happen on the virtual machines. But after the test run finishes, the virtual machine will go away,
Mm. Okay.
and the caching that's on it will no longer
Be
be used.
lost. Yeah, be
Yeah.
lost. Okay. Okay.
Okay. Okay. So this kind of makes sense to me. And also, I don't know why I don't just do this here. Docker build kit. Oh, it's already doing it. Okay. Okay, after building, push your image to the registry. Okay. Oh, if you've specified a separate cache tag. Okay. Okay. But this isn't exactly the right build command. It was this. I guess the only difference is the specification of the Docker file, the Docker compose file.
And if you want to push a specific tag, then you need to pass the tag variable also to this script. So you can push that one.
Okay, if I want to do a specific tag, tell me if I'm tell me if I'm not understanding what you're saying. I think for starters, I'm just going to use the latest tag
Mm-hmm.
and just do it once with that tag and see if it even works at all. And then
Mm-hmm.
later I might do different tags per build.
We we can try.
Okay. Okay, now I don't understand how to reconcile these two things, so I'm going to ask. my build command is this. The command you gave me is like this. How can I modify your command to use my Docker compose file? Apparently there's more to it. Interesting. Oh, I put those things into Docker Compose. Interesting. Okay, I'm gonna give it my Docker Compose file. Here's my Docker Compose file. I want to cache in my registry every image that can be cached. Yeah, because I have the test app, Postgres, Redis, and Chrome. That's like 4 different images. Okay. I don't really understand. I'm gonna do this. Docker Compose build kit caching. I'm just gonna see what comes up. Hmm. Cache from my image latest. I don't really understand what he's trying to achieve. He says it does not make sense to specify the name of the image itself in cache from. All right, there's a link to the official docs here. But apparently it's a broken link. Okay, Docker Compose cache from. Okay. Hmm. Doesn't say anything about a registry or anything like that. Cache from.
So
Mm-hmm.
I was just wondering, like, how we do in the gem file that sometimes we can have like gems, which is just you specify gem, and then it takes from the gems registry. But you can also have private gems, and then you have to, or sometimes you have to specify a different path and branch for the gem. So similarly, if we can specify in the image itself, like for example, what we see right now is uh, rembu toss latest. Instead of that,
Mm-hmm.
if we can say docker.registry.blah at rembu toss latest, and that might work. It's just worth giving a shot.
Okay. So what I don't understand, and maybe you do, is this Remiboo toss builder. What does that point to? Like,
It's
is this
probably
a suffix for a registry?
yeah, it assumes that it's gonna come from the registry and it's using the username and then and the tag to fetch it. What I think Sahil is trying to say is that we can give an absolute path uh with HTTPS instead of, and then ask the builder to fetch it from that path instead of assuming that it's from the registry,
Oh, is that
right?
what you meant, Sahil?
Yes, like I'm not, again, I'm not 100% sure, but it could be that when in Docker Compose we are saying that image, that's the first line, then it assumes that this image is hosted at the default registry, which is the Docker registry, instead of the DigitalOcean SaturnCI registry, something like that. Yes. So it could be worth giving a shot.
Okay. Yeah, it doesn't hurt to try. Okay. In this Docker, compose Docker CLI build environment variable seems significant. Hmm. Okay.
So
Yeah, it looks like it didn't like that. Docker compose. Okay. Okay. Strategy. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. But okay, strategy and Redis. Yeah. So if we look at, okay. Yeah, these images are pulling from Docker Hub, of course. But I suppose we could have specified a full URL for those. I don't know what it means to specify image here,
Hmm.
because build and image, those to me would seem to conflict. And this doesn't say anything about caching. So I don't feel like that's the right path to go down.
let me just double check one thing.
Okay. So let me reorient myself. It seems like caching works much differently with Docker Compose. Okay, cache from. This cache from thing seems hard to find documentation on.
Because my understanding would be that when we specify image and we specify build, then image is like the base image it takes, and build would do more steps on top of that.
Oh, that would make sense. Yeah, it seems like a different thing from caching. I see the logic behind what you were saying earlier. Actually, I'm going to try this again. What's that file called? Build cache. Okay, and what was the error we got about that? Error importing blah blah blah. Well, it makes sense because it doesn't exist. Yeah, we need not just the cache from part, but we need to write to the cache. Yeah, okay. Does this say anything about cache too? No. If my registry URL is, it's almost time to wrap up, unfortunately. My registry URL is this. How do I set cache to in my docker compose.yml? Says it's not supported? That clearly seems incorrect. Okay, let's look for more info on cache 2. Hmm. Oh, I forgot the underscore. Let me just make sure. Okay, I'm on 3.8. Okay, this is kind of old. Okay. Well, let's just try cache 2 with this URL. I don't see why it would work. I don't see how it can authenticate. Unsupported option cache 2. Interesting. Goes under build. Okay. Well, I don't know if this is going to be a fruitful path. Okay. I'm going to wrap it up soon. I'm going to leave some kind of a clue for myself for the next one.
So, just one question about the objective of building this SaturnCI. Is it because you want to build your own pipeline system? You want to build a SaaS, or you're just trying out things?
I'm building my own CI product.
Okay, which is like CircleCI or any other tools out there.
Yeah, exactly. Sorry, maybe I should have explained that. Yeah, I'm building a competitor to CircleCI and GitHub Actions and that kind of thing.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna make a note for myself. How do I get Docker to cache somewhere remotely instead of on the local machine. Seems like it shouldn't be that hard, but apparently it is. Okay, we'll pick that up. We'll pick that back up next time. All right, thanks guys for joining me, and I'll see you next time.
See you.
Yeah, bye bye.